I thought they did.
No, you're special.
You're making me look good, man. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, as you know, me, Jada, and Kenneth will be speaking at a conference in Missouri. So, I will be sharing my testimony with you today in preparation for that. And I hope you like it. So, here it is. For me, most of you guys know me for the most part, I think. If not, mad respect. Okay. But for me, it's pretty simple. I grew up in church. I grew up at Chartel. I've come here ever since I can remember, basically my whole life. So I basically know everything about this church. My parents made me go to church. I loved it. I love it here. Chartel's awesome. So yeah, thanks for coming. But sports has always been a huge part of my life. I grew up playing baseball, basketball, football, anything you can probably think of. I was playing it as a kid. And for a long time in my life, I felt like God was in the passenger seat while I was in the driver's seat. And for a long time, that's how I lived my life. I made decisions based off what I wanted to do, based off what I felt like was the best for me, and I basically just went to God whenever I needed Him. And so for up until about my sophomore year in high school, that's how I lived my life. And so my freshman year, let's start with my freshman year. I played basketball and baseball. I started out in basketball for the first semester until about February, and then I went over to baseball, and I liked it. I liked both of them, but I felt the best decision for me was going to be to just choose one and stick with it. So I ended up choosing baseball to stick with because I had always just felt baseball was more of my thing. Cody, my brother, was more of a basketball player, so I just felt like baseball was more for me. And so sophomore year, I chose to just do baseball. And so my summer after my freshman year, I was like, this summer I'm going to spend a lot of time playing baseball, getting better at the game, and I am going to go for a starting spot on the JV team because our varsity team was really good and I'm bad. So that summer I spent a lot of time, majority of my time playing baseball. I played on a travel team. I went to lessons. Pretty much every free time I had, I played baseball. And that summer I really found myself trying to put all my time into something that I knew was temporary. That I knew I put all my time into something that I wanted all the time. I've spent no time with God, and I thought that baseball was what I wanted, so that's what I focused my time on. And so school year comes around and we start practicing baseball and everything's going well, and I feel like I'm doing really good. Baseball's going good. I was glad I stuck with it, and I was doing great in practice. And then about a month into the school year, in September, one practice, I broke my hand. I broke my hand at practice trying to catch a ball, and I ran into the fence. And I was super upset, and I didn't know why God would let this happen. I kept questioning Him. I would say, God, I don't understand. I had this plan. I was going to start on the baseball team. I was going to get the starting position, do really good. And that's all I wanted. And with my injury, I would require surgery. I would be out for 10 weeks. And so I would miss a significant amount of time because in fall, that's when you're being evaluated. That's when they choose what team they want to put everyone on and who's going to start and all this. And so I was really upset. And I began to question God. I would say, I don't understand. Like, why, what I wanted, it's not that hard. Like, how is that much to ask for to start on a baseball team? And it wasn't until 2-3 weeks after I had surgery, I started thinking about it, and I was like, man, all this time, all summer, all I wanted was to play baseball. But now that I can't do anything in baseball, I suddenly need God. And I realized, like, man, Corb, you limited God to that. All you wanted was to play baseball and to get a starting position, and that's it. That's all you wanted. You limited God, who walked on water, who sent His Son to die on the cross for me, and I limited to just give me a starting position on the baseball team. And something that I failed to realize was that God had a different plan. He saw me. He didn't see me just walking up to baseball, getting what I wanted, getting the position I wanted, and just everything going my way. He had a different plan for me. He redirected me in the plan that He had. And His plan is greater because He sees the whole plan and we don't. And that's something that I failed to realize because all I was focused on was what I wanted and not what God wanted. And it might not be in life when we get the things we want, it might not be the way we wanted to get them. We might not do everything that we saw ourselves doing, but that's not what God has for us. God has something greater. He sees the whole plan and we don't. And this is when, during this time, I really started to just really question myself and question God and just ask Him, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Because this was when I finally realized that His plan is greater than mine. And God told me that He needed me to have a little faith. Even though I didn't understand what was going on, I didn't understand why I broke my hand, why He would not allow me to, impress the coaches, get the starting job. I didn't understand that, but that's what faith is. Faith is accepting when we don't understand. Faith is trusting God, that God sees the whole plan. Faith is trusting that God has something better for us than we have for ourselves. And I would love to say that, after this time, everything got better, and it got better just instantly like that, but it didn't. So I recovered from my injury, and I got back middle of November, and I was doing really well. And the season comes around in February, March, and we start scrimmaging, and I'm not getting to play, and I'm frustrated again, and I question God again, and about the middle of the season comes around, and I'm not getting to play. Haven't got to play a single game, and I told myself, I'm like, all right, we're in this tournament. If I don't get to play any games of the tournament, I'm done. I'm quitting. And so the first 2 games of the tournament, I don't get to play, and I'm super frustrated because I didn't want to quit baseball. I've been playing my whole life, and this was it's all I knew. It's all I ever played. And I said, so if I don't get to play this game, I'm done. And we play 7 innings, so it's about the 3rd, 4th inning. I'm not playing. And I'm just kind of in the bench, in the dugout, just, moseying around. And I hear Coach call my name. He says, "You're in next inning." And I was like, "Me?" He said, "Yeah, you." And so I go in next inning, and I do really good, and I never come out another inning the rest of the year. I played the rest of the season. And for me, that was just proof that God was there, that God was not done with me, that God knew what He was going to do from the very moment I broke my hand. And I would love to say that from that moment on, it just got better and it was easier, but it wasn't, unfortunately. But now I know that whenever I struggle, or whenever I doubt, or whenever I question God, I know that in those trials, He's going to be with me. And I know that I can go to Him. It's going to make it that much better in the valley. And there's this verse in 1 John 5, and it says, "For every child of God defeats this evil world, and we achieve this victory through our faith." And for me, that was the story of that point in my life. Is I was down, I found myself down, and it needed a little bit of faith. That's what it was going to take for me to just trust God. And that's how we can achieve our victories, through our faith. And so I hope that what my story, I hope that you can learn from it, but for you, it might not be baseball. It probably isn't. It might be a relationship. It might be, something at school, in your family. I don't know what it is, but I do know that God is faithful, and even in our darkest times, He's still there, and He has something greater for us. So that's all I have. I'll pray for us, and then we'll be done. Dear God, I'm just so thankful for this opportunity to be able to speak